So Rain is going to be our SK Telecom player. Have we seen the opponent? I haven't. I just ran.
Nope. Rain first person coming out here.
A solid choice. I think the best all-around player SKT has to offer for an ace match like this when you don't know your opponent. You can't really predict who you're up against. And looks like he's just finishing up getting his gear ready. And, you know, both of these matches actually will be played on the King Sejong station. I don't know if you confirmed that yet or not, but...
Nope. Just going to be on the King Sejong station. Interesting pick for a map for both ace matches, actually.
It was probably randomly drawn, I would guess.
Yeah. But here for Incredible Miracle, it will be ByuL. So we are going to have this PVZ. Both of these players very safe, very laid-back players, not too aggressive. It's going to be an interesting game here, actually. ByuL has played on the King Sejong station many times, so he has a lot of practice on this map.
Yeah, this is true. And looks like he's just getting ready here as well. He's in the lobby already. Rain is pending, as it is, so he looks stressed, actually. You know, this is actually a match that, like you said, these two players are so defensive in nature. You wouldn't expect to see ByuL necessarily for this match, but I feel like, you know, they send him out fourth a lot. He seems to kind of be their anchor in a lot of ways, and they're probably expecting a Protoss, what with all the good Protosses on SKT that they have to offer. So, you know, I would say it's a solid pick. We didn't do predictions for this, but I would predict Rain here.
Yeah, I got your back on this one. Rain is definitely just a more solid player overall. ByuL had a lot of hype around him starting in round 1, but as round 2 came along, he just kind of is mid-level, whereas Rain is definitely near the top. And I just have to give it to the Protoss player here.
Yeah, I would as well. So, map is loaded. Players are ready, Brendan. We're going to find out which one of these teams is going to get the 5th place spot and knock the other down to the 6th. And this one, best of one, our tiebreaker here for round 2 of the SPL.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom right in the orange for SK Telecom, Protoss player Rain.
And to the top left in the blue for IM, it's ByuL. So this map, we've seen a lot of defensive play out of ByuL against Protoss timings. We've seen a lot of Protoss timing attacks in general on this map. You know, I don't remember Rain ever playing on this map. No maps particularly come to mind. But certainly maps of ByuL really stand out to me. For example, his burrow defense we saw him do on this map with just Hydras and Roaches at the top of the ramp, setting that trap. That was quite successful. We've seen him do that. It's kind of tough for Protoss to play late game on this map. We've seen Protoss players win late game if the Zerg makes mistakes, engages wrong against you know, Void Rays with Corruptors. We've seen there's a lot of dead space on this map where sometimes the Corruptors make a few mistakes and the Protoss ends up winning the game. But it's a tough map to play in late game because Swarm hosts are so strong. It's hard to get a 4th base as the Protoss. So we really often see timing attacks. Now, unfortunately for Rain, that's not really his forte. He's not the best timing attack player that we've ever had in Pro League.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's going to throw down this forward tier first, maybe try to get some cannons down. We have seen him do this before, many times actually, so could be something he can have some aggression with. But ByuL is going to see this, so he should be ready for this. ByuL is not a guy to pull a terror and just be like, oh, well, I don't care, that's fine. I see what you're doing, but I'm just not going to respond. But ByuL not like that. He's probably going to pull some drones, make sure no cannoning can go down here. Yeah. Should be pretty safe.
Pretty safe so far. And he's going to get blocked here at the hatch. Still sends the drone down anyways. Needs to eventually work on that probe. We could see a pylon block here. I don't think so, though. He wants to get his Nexus faster. That's how Rain plays. You know, another player like Parting would drop the pylon maybe. Rain's not having it. Second drone puts the hatch up. He also had that drone coming at such a timing back home that he could have taken the 3rd hatch instead if a pylon was dropped. So really nice timing that worked out for ByuL. Clearly practicing this map quite a lot.
Yeah. So dropping down the Nexus is Rain. Does add that gateway follow-up very, very fast. Once to get his tech, it will be a slightly delayed because he did go for that Forge first. We'll have a slower gate into a slower Cybernetics core. So
Yes.
slower tech.
Slower tech. And further, perhaps a slower attack, should he decide to go for that. And this game's going to take a little while to warm up, as that core is so late. We don't know exactly what Rain's going to do. One might assume Phoenixes, and one might be correct. This Phoenix play is something that Rain has perfected. You know, he's taken what pro gamers before him have built. He's not even, a lot of people would say the best Stargate player actually in the world right now in this matchup.
Yeah. Hero being the first one to really perfect that Phoenix play against Zerg, but Rain nowadays, one of the better guys at it, has shown time and time again very, very strong timing attacks with it. With Zealots is just strong in general Phoenix play, harassment, and I'd love to see him throw it down here.
Yeah, I think that's what we will see. Brendan, have we talked about this topic before? Are you pancakes or waffles? I really got it.
Yeah, we talked about this. I am waffles.
Good, okay. Excellent. That was close.
Almost gave you a heart attack. You okay?
I might have just had to revoke our friendship, but it's okay.
I mean, I enjoy both. I'll
Me
eat
too.
pancakes if they're there, but I prefer waffles.
Good.
And like good waffles, not frozen Eggos. Like those are okay, but
Only if they're chocolate chip, otherwise no, they're not okay.
I used to just have the regular ones with like syrup.
Gross. Well,
I enjoyed them. They
this
were good.
queen is like on the edge here.
She'd be all like, I'm just trying to go to my third, but this guy just has to be all up in my business.
Yeah, Zealot's certainly up in the business here. May actually target the drone. Yep.
Oh, one more. Oh.
Drone's
Gets
like,
away.
I'll tank it. It's fine. We're cool. And actually, he's not going to lose anything.
Loses nothing, but Rain does lose the Zealot. Pretty unfortunate. Not a huge deal.
Ooh, Oracle. I don't think that that's going to pay off. How do you feel about the Oracle? Every time I see the Oracle in this matchup, I feel like yes, this is a fast unit that can continue to scout later on in the game, but it's a huge investment in gas early on that delays everything else.
No, I much more prefer Phoenix play, especially on a map like this. Like you can just clear out all the different overlords. You know, they love to put that overlord on the little pillar next to your natural. You can get that one. You can get scouting ones. You can have ones near the corner, near your fourth base locations. You can pick off a bunch of those. You can just get into the base very much quicker. Whereas, especially if it gets scouted like ByuL did with the overlord, it's really just not gonna do much damage. He's just going to be prepared for it. The one thing it is good at is preventing these little attacks that the Zerglings can do at the third.
Yeah, it synergizes well with the third base. That's something we should definitely mention. I didn't realize Rain was going to go ahead and drop that third Nexus down as he does. And he goes into Void Rays. So I like this build a lot. I was overly critical of it initially because I wasn't sure how he was going to use it. We've seen so many players in the past just like make an Oracle and then go Phoenixes. The Oracles does nothing. The Phoenixes could still do the same scouting job the Oracle does, and it feels like redundant and expensive. But in this case, the Oracle is going to be very useful still for scouting. He's getting Void Rays out. He's skipping the Phoenixes entirely, which means he's vulnerable to the Overlords on the map. The Void Ray, though, can clear those up eventually. And he's got this Oracle for Ling defense against a big Speedling attack that might hit his third.
Drops down another Stargate. Going to see a bunch of Void Rays coming out here first. Rain's not playing for the next 5 minutes. He's playing for 10 minutes and beyond. He wants to get a very, very strong 200-200 army. Wants to possibly get a bunch of these Void Rays and harass, but most likely just try to get that big death ball. Gets his third base up pretty early on. I'm liking the build more and more as it comes into fruition.
Yeah. And the Oracle actually gets a few kills here. Not bad. This drone is still out of place.
He wants to join the Protoss, man. He's had enough of the Overmind.
Yeah, he's had enough. It's like, are there any Dark Archons there? Mind control me.
He's just waiting for the Warp Prism, man. He just wants the pickup. He wants to start a new life.
Yeah. Does that pick me up? Uh-oh. Oracle in danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Let's see. Is he actually going to be able to get this hatch? I don't think so. Not with just two Voids.
Well, this drone is actually going to scout the Void Rays coming across.
That misunderstood drone.
Very interesting. ByuL ByuL is now going to have a good idea that these Voiders are coming towards his fourth base and probably have some more defense here.
Yeah, I don't think he can actually kill that. These Lings, on the other hand, are going to take some serious hits. Could Time Warp those maybe and kill him, but he's a bit reluctant.
Well, he has 2 more of these Voiders on the way, and he has 2 Phoenixes for the follow-up here.
This is looking hero-esque, what we're about to see here. He's going to demolish this base with all those Stargate units together. Could actually start fighting that Extractor. Actually need to go for the Spore first. Charge up. And with that Prismatic Alignment, it makes quick work. And there's that Time Warp I was talking about. These Queens are goners. The drones are already on their way out. Desperation Spore Crawlers at the back will be killed. I'd rather even see him just go back and kill the Spores. At the location where he has the Void Race, he can just ignore the Spores because they're not going to be in range. And then once the hatch is dead, he just flies away from them, ignoring them completely.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to go near those Spores. He gets the 4th base. ByuL actually starts on the second 4th base here at the middle location, but I don't know if that's going to stay up if Rain does identify the fact that it is going up. Rain going to now come into the 3rd base, start getting these Overlords, could even focus down more Queens. He's just going to go for the hatchery right away.
He goes for that hatch. Decides to go for the Queens here. Maybe waiting for that Prismatic Alignment to come back up. Starter stepping here. He's fluxing those Void Rays. And unfortunately, there's way too much here. Loses the Mothership mid-recall. And yeah, he's going to get these Queens potentially here, but at a pretty heavy cost. Sorry, not fluxing, by the way. The correct term there is phasing. Those of you guys don't know old StarCraft 2 history. In the beta, you could actually switch targets rapidly with Void Rays. You spam right-click, keep switching targets, and they would actually switch targets so quickly you would be able to do damage to 2 targets with 1 Void Ray.
Yep.
And the person to discover this was called Phase, so it became known as phasing. But that's a long, old term that's no longer useful, but it looked like he was doing it. These Lings are going to kill the Zealots eventually, but they're going to trade okay there larva-wise, and he's got all these Phoenixes here expecting a Mutalisk transition to now go and do damage.
Meanwhile, I mean, ByuL's got 70 of these Infestors, but he's got to get a good fungal first. And against Phoenixes, it's very hard to do, especially on a map like this. He can go from 3rd to main to 3rd to main, avoid those Corruptors, not take too much damage, and continue with their harass.
There's so many Zealots here now, 17 on the map with Archon support and all these Phoenixes. Rain just has too much damage to be ignored, right? Like, he has to send his units back. Oh, no. He needs to funnel those. Okay, that was a close call. But here come the Phoenixes! And he lifts 3 of the Infestors. Perhaps 4, it's hard to tell. Looks like, yeah, just 3. Archon's coming through here, gets 2 more. And that is way too expensive in gas to lose. Every Infestor is gone. That one Swarm has probably died of splash damage on the Archons here in just a second. Corruptors come over with the Archons on the ground, though. I wouldn't want to stick around.
I wouldn't want to stick around either. And more Zealots are going to start streaming in here. These 2 Void Rays come back again. They can even fight against the Corruptors now. It's enough. I mean, they start the overcharge now, and this is looking bad for ByuL. GG.
So SK Telecom T1 takes 5th place, knocking IM down to 6th place. And that very straight up and standard best of 1 there. I feel like ByuL was trying to do a little bit too much, trying to get Infestors out and Corruptors. The 1 Swarm host, wasn't sure what was going on with that, but losing those Infestors was really expensive, man. That was kind of the
I'm not sure why he was that far out. I mean, he was already in a very, harsh position there. He could not afford to lose those Infestors, and once they just got lifted with the Archons on the way,